Hello everyone, how are you today? I hope you're having a really good day so far. If you're new here, my name's Taylor, I live in Baltimore City, and on my YouTube channel here I feature content that's generally focused on knitting and spinning. I have to say I have not been all that productive knitting wise this week. I've been far too stressed to focus, but I did finish spinning my second skein of hand spun yarn from the Corriedale fleece I purchased at Maryland Sheep and Wool this past May. It's a 2-ply yarn. It's fiber that I hand comb on my Valkyrie Extra Fine hand combs, spin into singles, and then ply into a 2-ply construction. This yarn is very structured. It has a lot of twist to it, and it's, I would guess, about a fingering weight. Each time I scour a batch of this wool, I measure out about 120 grams. After I have washed it and combed it, I have about 80 grams of fiber remaining that is spun into each skein. It's just a very, very lovely fleece to work with, and the multi-dimensional effect of the gray fiber really makes it, I think, just very shiny looking. I don't know, it has a bit more luster than other fleeces. Like this one, for instance, is a merino. It's kind of like a very flat color. This one just feels like it almost sparkles. Not like a true long wool would, but I digress. I'm really excited to work with my hand spun yarn soon. Of course, I'd love to design another pattern, so we'll see what happens with this. Let me know what your thoughts are on designing a garment with hand spun. Some of you have been missing Star Baby Moonchild. I think it was just a little bit too hot for her in recent weeks to sit down with us here. This room has a window that shines in, so it's one of the warmer rooms in the house, and it's been quite warm here in Maryland lately. So a lot of the cats and the dog hang out more on the first floor of the home than up here on the second floor. I have my iced coffee from Zeke's cooling me off today, and as you can see, I have gorgeous flowers that were left at my door by a neighbor, Flash, who is a master gardener, and it's just so sweet to open my front door and find such a surprise. So I really do appreciate that. He's a very lovely person and an expert in growing flowers. I also want to send a huge thank you to every one of you who have supported me in purchasing my Kingston cardigan pattern. It has been really exciting to see all of you out there testing the pattern and getting it out online, and then to see you all purchasing it and knowing that more and more of them will be made. The fact that I conceptualized something that is going to exist in the hands of other people, I think is really cool, and I just can't thank you enough for supporting me in that way and deciding to make something of my own construction. Also, for even just being here watching this video right now means so much to me, so thank you for that as well. Editing Taylor here. I'm just inserting this brief clip to remind you that if you do enjoy this content and you want to support me in a different way, you can consider sending me a coffee. Anyway, it's just a donation platform. If you're so inclined to support my content creation on this platform, it really is appreciated, but it is not at all required. And let's get into, I think, a little bit of the last week. The day that my pattern was released, I think it was the day after my birthday. My birthday was on Friday, and on Saturday, of course, I record my video and I posted on Sunday. I think maybe the pattern came out on Sunday, now that I think about it. But anyway, the pattern was released on my birthday weekend, which is really exciting, and we had a lot of fun skating on Thursday night over at Shake and Bake in Baltimore. A couple of my friends got together and we had a lot of fun. It really did make my birthday ultra special to spend time with them and to hear from so many people, including some of you out there wishing me a happy birthday. Because of all your support and the celebration of my birthday, I impulsively bought myself a new cardigan quantity of yarn. I felt very encouraged and motivated by some of you to come out with even more patterns, and I had this idea in my mind flash immediately. This one will include stripes, and I'm excited to share with you the yarn I anticipate using for this project. I don't know exactly when I'm going to cast it on, but I do think it's going to be sooner than later. I might even just push to the wayside some of my other projects I've started, because this is one I feel compelled to begin. And this is yarn that I've used in the past. I actually published a hat pattern with the Brooklyn Tweed Arbor yarn in the Tincture color, which is this one here. And I really loved it. It's such a great yarn, and I love a DK weight yarn. Again, thank you so much, because it's like you all bought this for me for my birthday this year, and I just impulsively bought the yarn that I had been thinking about for a little bit. I didn't necessarily have this project in mind, but I've worked with this color yarn before. I knew of the slightly more mustardy tone shade, but hadn't really seen it for myself. And then I kept stumbling across these like very warm brown, kind of auburn brown colors that I always really love. I see a lot of other people work with like this sort of tone, and I really haven't invested in this color much. I would say though that my naturally dyed black walnut projects that I've made over the years do very much resemble this sort of brown color, but of all browns, I feel like this one is really my style. Anyway, I think that these colors just really flow together super nice, and I have a few different ideas on how I want to stripe them. I will say they give a bit of a gradient look. I'm thinking thin stripes for this project with perhaps, I don't know if I'm just going to do 1 2 3 1 2 3, or maybe I'll do 1 3 2 3 1 3 2 3, something like that. But maybe I'll knit a swatch. Of course I'm going to knit a swatch, but I might just knit a swatch that has different types of stripes to see what kind of stripes I want. And then I have never really designed a garment before in multiple colors, so managing the yardage requirements for both is going to be a little bit more complicated than a solid sweater, so I'm thinking about that too. But this is something that you all contributed to in one way or another by simply clicking my videos, watching them through and through, and supporting my pattern design. So thank you so much for this. I'm really excited for that little future. And I can't remember if I said this already, but I haven't been knitting much. I told myself I was going to finish this giant shawl in a day, and I don't think I knit a single stitch on it. A lot's been happening in my life in recent days, and I've thought about the fact that I haven't opened this project bag in several weeks, but I am still knitting the what is this, Bubble Cardigan by Stephen West, and there's that. No progress on this as of yet, but I think it'll be an exciting garment to wear, a little funky, a little out of the box for me. I have knit more stitches sitting here with you all than I have all week. Somehow I lost my mohair. Did it break? Uh-oh, I have to think back and find out where I lost my mohair. Anyway, I was gonna tell you the story of the drama in my office. I have a coworker that has decided that I'm worthless, that I deserve no respect or any acknowledgement. They ignore me or tell me outright that they're not speaking to me. They talk about me and say things like, she's such an effing bee, that I heard directly come out of their mouth. And then the moment I acknowledge like, hey, I just heard what you said about me. I'm screamed at in my face. I can't explain why they feel they need to do this, but I can explain that there's no rationalization of it that is appropriate, but the amount of vitriol that I experience directly and in front of other people, it's not that it's humiliating, because I know that it's baseless. Let me tell you, on Friday, at the start of the day, my coworker said, I'm just gonna say this and I don't want anyone to respond or react. I just need you all to know, Taylor, you're not gonna be here for very long. So you need to train so-and-so on everything you do. This is coming from someone who's not my boss. This is coming from someone who has my exact job title. And I said to her, it's on my checklist. I don't know what I'm supposed to say in response to such abuse. I was told she slammed my door because when I opened it, the air blew on her. At one point, where she started screaming at me so loud on Tuesday that everyone in the building heard her. Everyone in the company witnessed the moment, whether they were in the room or not. They heard what she said. It was just extreme and unhinged, inappropriate and scary. It's like she becomes so violent. I have to leave because if I were to stay and she were forced out of her job, I know I would face such retaliation that I don't even want to imagine what it might be. What do I do now? Do I put in 2 weeks and give them only that because that's all I can do? Do I promise 4 weeks because it would benefit the owner of the company who I do care about and I want to support? Do I pick up a job dog walking so that I can just not think about a 9-to-5 right now and maybe focus on the things that truly bring me joy, like recording videos for YouTube here, or writing new knitting patterns, or just spinning yarn? I mean, should I take some time off for myself this summer? Should I dive right into a new 9-to-5 job if I'm lucky to find one? I really don't know what to do with myself, but I do know I won't likely be happy in the long run if I stay here. And so for the betterment of myself right now, but also my potential future, I just have to separate from the company I'm working for. There's really no other way around it. It sucks. I hate it because I actually really love what I do full time as an administrative kind of admin customer service representative. I enjoy the work, but it just can't work for me anymore. It's even affecting my health, the stress that she puts me through on a constant basis every day. And I don't deserve it. And maybe I shouldn't even show up for 2 more weeks the way that she is continuing to be. I don't know. I don't even know what to do with myself. I just don't know. The idea of taking a sabbatical is really appealing to me because Brian and I have a 1-week vacation we've booked in September. I'm anxious about finding new job placement and then having the opportunity to take that week off. Like, what if it's not allowed, or what if they won't hire me because of that? Especially if it's a temp to hire situation, like working with recruiters and whatnot. But I would very much like to find a job in payroll or some type of HR entry level sort of thing because it seems like HR is always hiring. So I don't know. I just wonder if you have any advice for me out there, if there's anything you recommend I do with myself. If you listen to all that, let me know with an emoji below. This week we'll choose the person at a computer emoji, because that's what I looked like spamming the internet with my resume. I just want to thank you all so much for watching and listening to my personal drama. I hope I have better things to share in future weeks. Hopefully I will find a way to refocus my attention on the good, positive, amazing, awesome things happening in my daily life. There are constantly sirens going off right now. I've paused 3 times already in recording this video. I hope everything's all right out there. I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you want to find me on social media, my name is Taylor E. Owen on Ravelry, Instagram, and Twitter. You can find me on TikTok as Taylor Knits. I hope you all have a wonderful day and that you take care. Welcome to this week's garden tour. You can see one of my collard greens got a little stressed and it's bolting. But I wonder if you've ever eaten the seed pods of collard greens before. I think they might be all right. I don't know, we'll see. I really like the seed pods of radishes. Have you ever had those? Those are my favorite. Anyway, I should plant radishes actually. I wonder, can you plant them anytime you want to? I don't know. Let me know in a comment if you do. Peach tree's still peachin'. I can't wait for peaches. Stone fruit is my favorite. Actually, just peaches. Just peaches are my favorite. I thought I had planted marigolds, but these are definitely a cosmos. One thing that I notice about them is the leaves fall as soon as they bloom. But leaves? I meant petals. You knew that. Anyway, the blueberries are finally starting to ripen, almost one by one. Every day I get 2 blueberries. And I've been picking some bouquets here and there, so I don't have a ton of blooms out in the garden. My echinacea have always done this. They put on the most pitiful petals. So, I don't know, maybe they need like more fertilizer? I'm not so sure. But I yanked out today all of the black-eyed Susans that were here. They were super full of mildew. And I am propagating some of these flame heucheras. Happy flames, dancing flames, something like that. Anyway, this is a cucumber and a squash growing up this trellis right here. And of course we have sunflowers in this bed. And I don't know if you can see it from this angle, but I have a okra blossom, which is the most exciting. I love okra. The raspberries have been ripening. We eat a cup a day. This entire area is a complete mess. I think I might just yank the calendula to make some sense of whatever is happening over here. Can't even walk across the yard. But look at these blueberries. These are gonna be so good. Here we have maybe a couple ripe ones. I love the sound of wind in the trees. We're lucky to live around a lot of old growth trees. We've been eating a lot of black raspberries as well. And the blackberries, you can see they're finally starting to fruit, but it looks like a lot of the fruit are like really weak fruits. Like they're gonna be really small fruits. So anyway, fig trees figgin', and the perennial shade garden has really taken off. I'm gonna train this cucumber up that trellis there. Got 2 happy cucumbers on this one. And this trellis is finally free for this rose, hopefully to take off this year. So, there we have the mid-June garden tour. One thing I will mention before we go is that my herbs in the shade, this oregano here, and all of these basils, they're doing so good. The herbs that I have growing in more direct sun over here, they are just fried. So I think I'm gonna cut them back, just give them a little extra water, And the lemon balm has already gone to flower, so maybe I'll cut it before it seeds all over. And that's about that. Thanks for watching. This heuchera propagation station looks pretty sad right now, but soon it won't look much different than one of these guys here, which I have propagated in the same fashion. At least I hope that's the case. This is the one I pulled from. I put it back in that place there, but it originally looked more like one of these. So I basically turned one plant into 7 plants. And I dug all these rocks up out of the ground. I'm gonna stash them away somewhere, maybe in a pot over here, I don't know. I only just noticed that this squash plant has crawled up my sunflower, which is kind of funny. I hope that it might reach the cattle panel just next to it, but can you tell yet what kind of squash that might be? I don't know.
Cut it in half to get the length that we need. So this is what it looks like so far. So we've got the bottom rung, I guess you could call it. What do you call this? Cascade, is it? Or level? Step? The bottom cascade is finished, so I think it looks pretty good. Time to get back at it.